Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for joining me today. I just wanted to say thank you everybody for subscribing so far. If you're new to the channel, appreciate it if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification, the like button. If you're enjoying the video, greatly appreciate it. It would help me out. We're almost close to partnership, but for all of those people who have already subscribed and who've been watching my videos, I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. You guys continue, by doing that, you guys having me continue doing these videos and deck techs and sideboard guides and whatnot. So appreciate it. Like I said, if you haven't done so, please hit that subscribe button. But let's go get into the deck tech. So today we are playing an Esper Doom deck for best of one. But the cool thing about this deck, it is a Fey. It's like a Fey or a WishBoard deck, I call it, because the reason it's a WishBoard deck is because we're playing a bunch of like 1/0s that we can cast. We can get all these cards from our sideboard. It's a best of one deck, but we can get every single card out of our sideboard because we have both Fey of Wishes and we have the Raven's Warning. So the third effect of this obviously puts any card from outside of the game on top of the deck, and Fey of Wish could grab any non-land or non-creature card from the sideboard and put it into our hand. So I call it a Wishborn deck because of the fact that we can grab stuff from the sideboard and play it. So let's go get into the makeup of the deck first. So it's obviously a Doom deck, so we're playing a Yorion. It helps it out by playing Yorion because we can fit more cards in there, and Yorion can blink some of the cards, like Golden Egg, Omen, Birds, stuff like that. So it doesn't hurt to have Yorion in the deck, so that's why we're playing Yorion. So we're playing one Bloodchief Thirst. This is just kind of like a 1-mana removal just in case we need something. I could easily just do 3 Caskets instead, since Yorion works with Casket more better. But the reason why I have one Bloodchief is in case I need to get rid of a Planeswalker. But since we're playing best of one, 3 Caskets might just be better, because if you're playing against the mono white life gain decks, obviously they can protect against Bloodchief since it destroys with the Selfless Savior guy, whereas Casket, it doesn't matter, we just take it just exiles. So maybe the 3 Caskets are better than Bloodchief, but let's give it a try. And 2 Caskets, obviously, because it can be blinked. It's a removal, 2-mana removal, and in best of one, you're probably just going to be playing against like aggro decks anyway, so that's what that is for. Birth of Meletis is there for us to grab more. We need to obviously hit our lands. It's a good blink target. It gains life, creates an 0/4. Creating an 0/4 in a best of one, it's going to be very helpful. So we have that. I'm trying 1 Fey of Wishes, but I really want to put, I would say, 2 in this. And so if I do put 2 Fey of Wishes in the deck, I would cut 1 Agonizing Remorse and do 2 Fey of Wishes. But I'm trying 1 at the moment and 4 Raven's Warning to see how it works. But I'm on the edge of just adding a second one of these and removing 1 Agonizing Remorse. But let's find out. Let's see if 1 is good enough, But it's here for the fact that we can grab the cards out of the sideboard. So every card except for Yorion and Dream Trawler can be grabbed. Oh, and Baneslayer. Except for the 3 creatures, Faye can grab any of those cards out of the sideboard. For Omens, obviously it's a Esper deck. You should be running 4 of these cards if you're playing any Doom deck, any Yorion blue base deck, control, anything like that. This is technically a control deck. It's not tap out control, but it is a control deck. 4 Agonizing Remorses, we just want to peek at their hand. We play against ultimatum decks, we can exile ultimatums, stuff like that. So it's a good card to have into the deck. I don't love this card, but I really like this card. So there's that. We have 3 Heartless Acts, 1 Eliminates. That's our 2-mana removal. You can easily do 2 Eliminates, 2 Heartless Acts if you want, but obviously they're both versatile in what they do. Eliminate's good against creatures that don't put counters on there. Heartless Act is just better overall against all creatures except for putting the counters on it. But for the most part, there's only certain, I think 2 or 3 cards that are being used in the whole all the sets that put counters on creatures. So Heartless Act can kill more in a sense than Eliminate can, because it can kill like cards like Torbrand, it can kill, you know, Yorions, Archons, it can kill a lot of things, and the only cards that are out there that can put counters on creatures is probably going to be like, what is it, Stone Coil, Serpent, and then the 2-drop white creature that before combat puts a counter on something. So there's very few, so that's why I'm doing Heartless Act over Eliminate more, so that's my reasoning. 3 golden eggs, it's another draw power, it creates this mana, it helps us out with Dance of the Man, so we can create so when we bring it back, we can sack and gain life. 3 omens, it's a doom deck, so we need permanents in play. It gains life, creates this 2 tokens, prevents the aggro. 4 nightmares, and the reason I have 4 nightmares in the deck is because I feel like it might be a semi-aggro best of 1 deck, and if it is, Nightmare can kind of take almost every single creature in the aggro matchup. You know, it can kill almost every single creature in the aggro matchup, with the exception of Seasoned Hollow Blade and like a Bone Crusher Giant. So with the exception of those 2, this can kind of kill every creature. And then on top of that, it has the additional effect of discarding a card out of their hand, like a spell, which would be like the Mauler artifact or Embercleave or something like that. So that's why I have 4 of those in there. 2 Treacherous Blessing. I don't want really more than 2 in the deck. Like I said, we're expecting probably a lot of aggro, so there's 2 Treacherous Blessing. You don't want to be taking damage while they're aggroing you. 4 Raven's Warning. Obviously, it's a WishBoard deck. It's a good card for the deck. We can also just sack it to a Doom Foretold. So there's 4 of those. I'm trying to 1 Nico. The reason why I'm playing Nico is because it works really well with what's it called? It doesn't work well with Archon, but it works well with the Yorion. But it does help to have the artifacts here, and I mean you can use it. So you use it with, so that you see the +1 effect. It says 1 creature can't be blocked this turn, and then it deals damage. It returns to your hand. So you plus Yorion, tack, returns it back to your hand, recast Yorion, blink all your cards, next turn do it again, plus, and you can just infinitely loop the Yorion. But I'm trying it as a 1-of just to see how it works. It might not be great in this deck, who knows. 3 Archons, like Archons here, obviously, like I said, aggro, best of 1's aggro, and creating a bunch of 2/2 lifelinkers is going to be great against aggro, so that's that. We have a bunch of enchantments, so like we should trigger it pretty often. Omens, Birth of Meletus, Omens, Nightmares, Treacherous Blessing, Ravens, Doom Foretold, ECD, like there's so much enchantments, so we're doing that. We have 1 Elspeth's Nemesis in case I play against a rogue deck. I want to add something in there for rogues. It's also good against aggro because it creates 2 1/1s. It can be escaped, it gains to 5 life, you know, so there's that. 3, so I'm doing the removal package. I'm doing 3 Extinction, 1 Crippling Fear. And Crippling Fear and Extinction, the reason behind it is in case I need to do, so Extinction, obviously it's odd or even, right? So it's kind of, if they have both odd and even, you can't take both of them, and that could be a problem. Whereas Crippling Fear, for the most part, people's creatures aren't going to get too high. I mean, if they have, the 2-drop that puts counters on creatures, it could get out of 3 range, but then you have Extinction to deal with that. Whereas Crippling Fear can just kind of clear the board altogether. And so I'm trying it. I'm not sure if it's going to work. You can easily just do the 4 Extinctions, or even do like a Shadow's Verdict instead. But I want to give it a try and see how it works. You know, the -3/3, it could be good. Obviously, we're a Doom deck, so 4 Doom Foretolds. Only 1 ECD, because like I said, I feel like if it's a lot of aggro and best of 1, ECD is not really going to have that many targets to hit, so 1 ECD. The lands are pretty basic. There's nothing really special about the lands. And the sideboard, obviously you can change it up how you like. This is how I put it together. I mean, there's obviously cards here that you can easily change. You might not need negate, but 1 negate doesn't hurt, just in case you're playing against a control deck. So if you're playing against like the ultimatum deck, you know, once you get the 3rd effect of Raven's Warning, you can go grab a hard counter against the ultimatum. So that's what there. 1 midnight clock against, unless we're playing against like rogue decks. 1 midnight clock to shuffle our deck back. 1 Necromentia is here. This card is really only here for the ultimatum decks. You grab it with Raven's Warning or Fae of Wishes and then just call Ultimatum, so that way they have to hard cast every single spell rather than being able to play 2 spells per turn. Baneslayer Angels here against the red decks, the aggro decks. The 5/5 first strike lifelinker is really great against red decks. Doomscar and Shadow Verdict are other removals. We just have more removals just in case. That's another thing you can do. Instead of the Crippling Fear, you can just main deck a Doomscar also, because this could technically be a 3 mana removal. So like I said, I'm just trying Crippling Fear just to see how it is, but you can do 4 extinctions, or you could do 3 extinctions and a Doomscar. It's up to you, give it a try, see how it works, and if it doesn't work out, just put in Doomscar or something, or put the other extinction. But yeah, Doomscar and Shadow's Verdict are there just to board wipe, just in case we need a board wipe, since we can't grab any from the deck. If we need something, Raven's Warning could grab it from the sideboard, so that's why we have that. And obviously Doomscar takes care of all things, whereas Shadow's Verdict is good just to like exile all the cards, so like they have their own goods and bads. 1 more ECD in the sideboard in case we need this against the control decks or something that's playing big. Obviously Yoria is the companion, but you can grab this with Raven's Warning. 1 Shark Typhoon. This is kind of like if we need another win condition, we can go and grab this and then hard cast this, and then since we hard cast this, all our spells we cast starts making us sharks. Dream Trawler, go grab this with Raven's Warning. This is a win condition on its own. It's powerful. They have to have board wipe to get rid of this. Ondu's Inversion is there just in case the board, same with Ugin. Ugin and Ondu's Inversion aren't there just in case the board gets too out of hand. You go and grab these cards and just completely wipe the board on both aspects. You could run 2 Ugins if you want, but the reason why I didn't do 2 Ugins here is because worst case scenario, Ondu's Inversion, it's a land. So if you play Raven's Warning and you need a land, yes, it comes in tap, but you can put this on top of your deck and you'll have your next land drop. So that's why we did that. They're both 8 mana. Obviously Ugin is a win condition, Ondu's Inversion is not, but they both have their versatility. This is a land worst case scenario, or it just cleans everything up. This is a win condition and just cleans everything up. So I have it as 1/1 split. And then 2 Dance of the Manse, because, well, yeah, we're a Doom deck with all these enchantments and artifacts. So I have 2 of these in here in case I need it. It's a win condition. Like, you can use one to like semi get card advantage, and then the second one you can use to win the game. So the first one you can use just to bring back, say, like 3 artifacts or 3 enchantments, you know what I mean? And then the second one you can use to bring back like 6 or 7 and have them all become 4/4s. But so that's the basic makeup of the deck and why I have these cards in there. But yeah, there's a couple of cards, like you said, you could change Blood Chief Thirst instead of, you could change that for another Casket, take out Agonized Remorse for Fae of Wishes, take out Crippling Fear for another Extinction or a Doomscar. Maybe we don't need 3 Nightmares here and we could instead do another Eliminate. So there's a little bit of stuff here that I can interchange, but I want to try it out obviously first to see if it does work or doesn't work, and then I'll make this necessary changes. But yeah, here's the deck, and let's go and start playing the matches and see what happens. Alright, we are playing some Esper Doom Control in best of 1. So let's see how this works. Alright, we got 3 lands, removal, Raven. Seems like a fine enough hand to keep. I don't see what's wrong with this hand at the moment. Obviously we have no idea what our opponent's playing, but he's not revealing any companions, so it's not like you're gonna know anyways. So it seems, and we're on the play. I would normally keep that, but since we don't have actual blue mana, we can't play it on turn 2, so no reason to keep it. Well, there's blue, but we wouldn't have drawn this if we would have kept Omen because we would have drew Omen. And it looks like we're playing against a red deck. Obviously, no other deck plays Fireblade Charger other than mono red, you know, red aggro, red rush, whatever you want to call it. Alright, well, geez, they kept an interesting hand. That's, yeah, just take Embercleave and we only have to deal with a Fireblade Charger for now. Kind of not cool that he has a Frostbite, so when we play this Raven form, he's just gonna kill it, and then I mean we gain 2 life, which is nice, but we don't get to draw a card. No, there is that, but you know, at least his hand is not great, and we have, you know, we could do stuff here. Remember Bender. Remember Bender. What you got? What you got, opponent? Remember Bender. Remember Bender. Let's go, opponent. What happened? What the heck is going on? Did you like AFK for a moment? Oh, there you are. There you are. Yep, Frostbite. We knew that was going to happen. Alright, so you drew Champion. That's perfectly fine. Now we have Extinction for Odd here. So we can kill both of them. I feel like I should do this just because next turn he's able to play Embercleave. I'm just debating on, do I play... Yeah. I was debating on if I play Fable Passage or the Pathway, but I think I play the Pathway, so that way Fable Passage, if I need it, I can go grab blue with it. Ooh, Omen's a good draw. Alright, what am I putting on top? Let's see. I could put a Yorion on top, or so that way I could blink something. Shadow's Verdict. I feel like against this matchup, this is because I mean we have ECD, we have Omen and Raven Warning. I could also do Dance the Mans, but there's not that many. Currently, there's not that many enchantments, but obviously these are going to go to the graveyard eventually, and since this is going to be on top of my deck, I'll have it in my hand. So I just have to not crack Fable Passage before, you know, or I have to crack Fable Passage after I draw. So that way I don't lose Dance of the Mans. Raven's Warning is actually a pretty decent card. It's a pretty decent card. The fact that I could grab anything... he killed my guy again? Come on, opponent. Just trying to draw cards here. Just trying to go cards. Alright, so I feel like we crack Fable Passage here and then use ECD on the Bone Crusher. The only bad part here is we currently don't have anything in the graveyard for ECD to grab, but don't believe we let him keep Bone. We don't let him keep Bone Crusher because he has the Embercleave in his hand. We want to make it so that he can't cast Embercleave, because if we let him keep the Bone Crusher, Embercleave would have done 10 damage to us, or Bone Crusher would have done 10 damage to us, I should say. And that's not good. Taking half our life in what? Yeah, Hardcast, sure. Hardcast concede. Boom, okay. Alright, we're playing some standard Esper, Fae, or I should say Esper. I mean, it's a Wishborn deck but it's a Doom deck. It's an Esper Doom deck with Wishborn cards. And what I mean by Wishborn cards is we're playing Fae of Wishes and we're playing the Raven card to grab cards out of our sideboard into our hand. So it's a Wishborn deck. Looks like we're playing against red. Okay. Well, we have a okay hand. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's a little better than okay because we have 3 removal, and then we have a Doom Foretold. It's just we need to draw. Make sure we can get to our 4th mana. Otherwise, we should be fine. Playing Fable Passage for obvious reasons, since we don't have 4 actual mana. I mean, Fable Passage is going to come in tapped, so just play that first. Oh, dang. 3 Fireblade Chargers. There's our 4th mana, so that's good. Put this on white. I'm debating, yep, I was debating on either Casket here or Heartless Hack, but might as well just get rid of it with Casket. And then next turn I can use Nightmare. And then the following turn I can use like a Doom Foretold. Rimrock, okay. Well, Rimrock might change my plan. So let's see. If I use Nightmare on Fireblade Charger, I take 1 and go to 16. Then I take 1 from Fireblade Charger, 15, and 3 from Rimrock. That'd be 12. I don't think I want to do that. I don't think I want to go to 12 at the moment. If I kill Rimrock, I go to 15. That's a huge difference in life totals. 15 versus 12. Obviously, the 3 is pretty good, especially since we're playing against red. But the only thing I'm hesitant about is like if he casts, say, I mean, he only has 2 cards in his hand, but if he casts, say, like a Torbrand, that's what I need Heartless Act for, because I don't want to, you know, die to a Torbrand. So he has Annex and Bone Crushers, okay? Or Annex and Bone Crusher, not Bone Crushers. So we can play a Doom Foretold, make him sack the Fireblade Charger. Then I sack the Nightmare because I don't need the 3rd trigger. Then we'll make him sack, say, like Rimrock. And then I have like Heart Sacked and all that. So we need another white just to be safe. Majority of the, well, not the majority of the deck is white, but you need more white. You technically need 2 white just because you playing like ECE and Yorion and stuff like that. So that's why. Alright, so we're down to 9. We're going to take 3. We go to 6. He drew his 3rd mana, which is fine. So we're going to sack Nightmare. I think I'm going to Heartless Act. Oh, well, it's going to Heartless Act this Rimrock, but now I think I just play, say, Agonizing Remorse, take away his Annex, play Blood Chief, and play Temple of Silence. I could also play the pathway here, so that way I can hold. Oh, and I have to play the pathway. What am I saying? If I want to do that play, I can do this. I could also do the. So I'm doing this play because I want him to discard the Annex instead of. So I could have Agonizing Remorsed it and made him discard it, but by doing it this way, I got him to discard the last card of his hand, gain 2 life, and put a threat on board. Obviously, the Agonizing Remorse now is dead in my hand, but at the same time, if I would have let Doom Foretold go another turn, I had nothing to sack. So that's the problem. Having nothing, because if I sack Glass Casket, that's not going to help me out, because then he could just sack the creature from Glass Casket. So that's the problem. That's why I did Heartless Act. Alright, Faceless Haven. Well, we have to cast this Yorion just as a blocker then. We drew Heartless Act, so that's pretty good. Now I can actually just kill Faceless Haven straight up. But we're, just in case, Faceless Haven is going to be blocked by Yorion. Well, it would have been nice to have it would have been nice to have the Omen prior to the Yorion, but hey, I'll take it. You know what I mean? It's a body as a blocker, and it's a life gain. I'll take it. And we attack because we drew the Omen, as well as having the Heartless Act here. So like, if he tries to attack, first I'm gonna play Omen just to be safe in case I need to create blockers. Then I'm just gonna Heartless Act it. So prior to, in case some randomness would happen, I want to be able to make sure I can block 100% and then do that. Okay, that's game. Boom. Alright, let's try some standard Esper deck. Davin, I get to go first. This looks like a keepable hand. The only problem is we're lacking blue for Omen. Otherwise, and I guess the Raven form, or the Raven's Warning, because I have to use Fable Passage to grab white, so that way I can use Birth of Meletus on turn 2. I could also use it to grab blue and then play Omen, but that's not going to guarantee a land, but it is a better, maybe a better, I mean, it comes down to, would you rather play Omen or would you rather play Birth of Meletus? I'd rather play Birth of Meletus because that guarantees our third land. Omen's not going to guarantee you a third land. Yeah, you get to scry 2 and then draw a card, but that's not going to guarantee you a land, whereas Birth of Meletus is 100% guarantee a land. And since we have Doom Foretold, I mean, like I said, we just need a blue mana and then our whole hand is active, but outside of that, ooh, what a nice draw. We drew the blue mana. That was actually convenient for us, huh? Alright, so Raven Warning, unless he has some kind of the fight card, since this looks like it's mono green food snow or whatever it's called, or green snow, whatever you want to call it. Unless he has a fight card, we get to draw a card this turn. Because the second effect of Warning, or Raven's Warning is going to activate. Well, maybe not, because he has reach, but we have the eliminate / hardest act to kill it. We can't hardest act. Oh, actually we could hardest act it because we could remove 3 counters. And then I also have Omen at the ready. Get to draw a card here and play Omen. Another land, perfect. Alright, so he has Bornclex, Stone Coil. Okay. Maybe if he was really worried about Raven's Warning drawing a card, maybe he should have just used his Gem Razor. Looks like he's thinking about doing it now. Oh no. Oh, he's in Gem Razor this. I see. Okay. Gem Razor. Well, we have no way. Actually, we have Doom Foretold. What am I saying? Like, we have no way of dealing with Gem Razor, but we have Doom Foretold. And we couldn't eliminate this anyway, so since last turn we used eliminate on the Stone Coil, we can't eliminate this because this is a 4-drop. So there's that. Land, huh? I already technically have 4 lands and 1 in play. Do I need another blue source is the question. I get to play Doom Foretold. Yeah, see, I'm debating on if I need another blue, but I don't think so. Well, I'm debating on if I need another blue. I'm like, I don't think so. And then we draw a blue. That's hilarious. Alright, well, I guess there's that, right? Alright, now he has to sack Gem Razor. That's a 2-for-1 for us. He lost 2 of his creatures. 2-for-1s. I love me some 2-for-1s. Okay, he didn't play anything. Odd. Does he just wants Doom Foretold to trigger or something, or what? That was weird. I'm not really sure about that. Alright, let's play Archon and hold up Heartless Act here. We could attack for 1 here. Since he doesn't have anything with reach in play. He has a Vorinclex in his hand. Yeah, not playing something was kind of odd. I'm not really sure what the purpose of that, because he could have played the Love Struck in his, Adventure Zone. So I'm not really sure what the meaning to that was, but okay. So he's gonna play Vorinclex here, I'm assuming, and then we just Heartless Act it. Yep, Vorinclex, and then Heartless Act. Kill this guy out of here. I'm pretty sure we win at this point. Yep, see, we win. Alright, we are playing some standard Optimus Prime. We're playing some standard best of 1 at the moment. The deck can be played easily in best of 3, but we're playing best of 1 at the moment just because I changed the deck around to make it a Fate or a WishBoard deck kind of, you know. So I want to give it a try in best of 1. Alright, so our opponent goes first, and he's playing Jengith. I have 3 lands. I don't have black, but I don't really know what my opponent is playing. Not really sure what that card is used for in standard. Well, I need black. Yeah, I'm not really sure what it's used for in standard, so we're gonna keep though, because we had lands and spells. We just needed 1 black. We were on the draw. Okay, so I think they're playing, I'm assuming this is Naya Adventures then, because I mean it could be green white, but I don't think it's green white Adventures. I think it's Naya, because there's no reason not to just have red in the deck for Showdown of the Skalds. Okay, so he's adding that to his hand. Ooh, we drew Nico. All right, that works really well with Archon. So we're gonna discard. We're gonna play Treacherous Blessing because we have nothing else to play here other than Treacherous Blessing, and discarding 1 card is perfectly fine, because we could then the following turn play a Doom Foretold and then sack Treacherous Blessing. And drawing 3 cards on an open field seems really great, and it actually is very great. And there's Naya. Oh, perfect. Toski, you're dead. Goodbye, Toski. Not today. You're not Tosking me today. Yeah, you're indestructible, but you still have to sack him. He's bye-bye. And then we can just sack Treacherous Blessing. If he throws anything out, it gets, you know, there's Showdown and Scald, okay? Let's see, land. Ooh, double Showdown and Scald and land. I wonder if he's going to play another Showdown next turn then. So we sack Treacherous Blessing. It's going to force him to sack Showdown. Okay, so I feel like I play Archon here, so that way next turn I play Nico, and then Nico, since it's gonna create X artifacts or whatnot, it's gonna trigger Archon like crazy and create a bunch of dudes. So there's that. Oh, but I do have double blue. Never mind. I was gonna say I do have double blue. Never mind. Because I was like, do I have double blue for Nico Bone? So he has double Bone Crusher. Okay. Well, there goes Archon. I don't know if that was worth it. Oh, dude, I messed up. I forgot to put the upkeep stop for Omen. So I can upkeep stopped here and play the Omen. Yikes. That was bad. It's always when you have a Doom Foretold, it doesn't hurt to just put the upkeep stop just to be safe. But yeah, that was kind of bad. We did not do that. Alright, well, let's just cast Nico anyways. Since we forgot to do Omen, let's just cast Nico. Okay, so I guess we just do the plus because he does a damage and then it removes the damage. And then, you know, so he's going to attack Nico for 1, bring it down to 3, but then we can just bring it back up to 4. Then he's going to attack it. And we have Extinction here, so if he casts, hopefully he casts 2 Adventures. Okay, so far we're looking good. We're looking good. Boom, 2 Adventures. Now we can Extinction Odd. Play Extinction on Odd and hold up Omen. And then use Nico. Once again, we're going to, I could just kill this thing actually, because it's going to do the same effect anyways. I bring it up and then it comes back down, so might as well just kill it. Could also grab Yorion in my hand instead, and then the next turn play Omen, but I rather just, my hand is 2 lands and Omen. I need to start digging through my deck. There's the Wellspring guy. Okay, we have 2, 4, 6, 7 lands, huh? Yeah, we need to start digging because we got kind of odd. I mean, we can draw 3 cards with the shards, so I mean that's good. But I need to draw. Ooh, we need to draw more cards. Ooh, Heartless Act was good too. That was actually a lot better because now we can Heartless Act this and then hold Extinction for all his odd cards. And we can sack one of these shards. So we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty darn good. So we get to draw another card, go to 4, draw for our draw phase, make it go to 5. I think we got this game. Sorry, Optimus Prime, but it looks like we got this one. Optimus Prime. And look, see, double Bone Crusher, so Extinction's great. So that Hardest Act was actually very great to draw. Ooh, ECD. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, why not? I'm gonna go to 9 mana, so I can cast Extinction and ECD on the same turn technically, if I wanted to do that. That is, of course. Goodbye, Bone Crushers. We have Nico. We have Yorion. 1, 2. Yep, that's game. Nico and Yorion. Hey Arena, welcome. So we're gonna do a obviously most of the time I do a best of 3 deck, and then I have a sideboard guide for specific decks, so to help you out what I sideboard, why I have what I have in my sideboard, and when I sideboard or why I would sideboard it. But since this is a best of 1, I've got, you know, requests to do some best of 1 matches, and this kind of falls in that realm for me where it has a sideboard, but at the same time it's a best of 1 deck. So this was kind of easy for me to transition from best of 3 to best of 1 because of the fact that we are able to use a sideboard here. So I'm going to give you some feedback or some info on what I have in the sideboard, why I have it, when I bring it in, against what I bring it in. Obviously it will differ from match to match depending on what's in play versus what you have. You know, it's never going to be the exact same every match. It's always going to be different, and you'll never really know. But I'm going to give you a general sense of what I have in the sideboard and what I use it mainly for, or why I have it for. But before we get into that, I want to welcome all the new people watching my channel. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button, that like, the bell for notifications. I'm going to start posting videos once again weekly, you know, 3-4 videos weekly. I'm going to be back on my old schedule for posting. I won't be streaming quite yet because I'm still on my laptop, and my desktop will be fixed in about 2 weeks. Once my desktop is fixed, we'll be back streaming. We'll have better quality for videos on the YouTube video. We'll have my, you know, I'll have my picture up and everything. Everything will be much cleaner. But until then, we're going to be working what we have, and hopefully this isn't too bad quality. It looks like the last video I uploaded was pretty decent. It's not as good as, you know, when I was on my desktop, but, you know, hey, you got to work with what you got to do. And for all the other people who have already subscribed and are watching my videos, thank you. I appreciate it. We have gone so far in such a short time, and thank you very much. All right, let's get into the deck. So I've changed a little bit of the deck since the matches or the intro of the deck. After playing those matches, I saw some stuff that I wanted to change personally because I felt it would be better this way. So first off, what I did was I took out one agonizing... Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. First off, I took out one agonizing remorse, and I put another Fate of Wishes. I felt like I needed more. Even though I had 4 here, I felt like I needed another one just because I always wanted to grab something from the sideboard usually. I mean, it's not necessarily you needed the card from the sideboard, but it did help to have something from the sideboard. So now having 6 targets, it might be a little better. We'll see. I'll play some more matches and find out if it's better as 2 of, or maybe I need a 3 of, but I think 2 of should be good. So we took out one remorse for that. We also, I took out one Archon and I added another casket. I needed another actual exile clause against the white life gain deck, and the fact that it exiles is relevant because it bypasses the 1-drop that gives the card indestructibility. So the fact that it bypasses that is what I needed. And 2 mana is still an early removal, so I did that. And obviously I'm not running too many enchantments for this effect to trigger massively, but we are running enough enchantments where I do want to keep a few copies of this just in case. And then the third change I did in the deck was I took out the Crippling Fear and just brought in the Extinction. Sometimes the double black did get in my way, and so the Extinction event is 1 black and it's exiles as well. So it either way it was good because of like against Toski or something, or against Como, this card still gets rid of it. And the 3/3 effect obviously is good against certain matchups where they go odd and even, but it felt like the double black was sometimes getting hard since I wanted either double white or I wanted blue or something like that. So I just cut it and put in the 4th Extinction here. Other than that, the changes, those 3 changes I did. The only other change that I was thinking about was taking out 1 Nightmare for maybe a second Eliminate. So have 3 Nightmares and 2 Eliminates, but we'll see. I'm going to test it out some more and we'll see. So, but if you're watching this video and you try this deck out, give that a try. Remove the Nightmare for another Eliminate and see if that works better. So let's get into the sideboard. So the first thing, I have 1 negate here. So this negate is mainly there for you in a sense to resolve something big. So let's say you use whatever, Raven Warning or Fae of Wishes, you grab a Dance the Manse and an Ugin, then you can hold that in your hand until you get another one, so you can grab negate. Then you can play one of these and negate. Or you use it for something like you grab it and then you hold it till turn 7 or something to play it against the Ultimatum, the Sultai Ultimatum decks. So it's in there just as a possible reaction to like Sultai Ultimatum control type of decks. Make sure that your spell resolves. The Midnight Clock here is there for obviously the rogue decks. The rogue decks. Like I only usually grab this out of the sideboard against rogues, and usually the only time I ever grab it is with Fae of Wishes, and because it goes straight to my hand, whereas Raven's Warning, it goes to the top of the deck and then they can mill it. The only time I do it on Raven's Warning is if I can draw the same turn I put it on top of the deck. So be careful. If you use Raven's Warning on it and put it on top of the deck against rogues, they might mill you. So if you're going to do that, make sure you can draw the same turn. But that's why I usually use Fae of Wish to grab it instead, because it goes straight to your hand. But that is against rogues. Necromentia, this is strictly against something that, like, so I mainly put it against the Sultai Ultimatum decks, because I call out Ultimatum or call out, say, Valky or Vorinclex or whatever the case is. Most of the time, it's just going to be the Sultai Ultimatum card. So that way, if they're only playing 1 card per turn, we can easily deal with that. The problem becomes when they play Sultai Ultimatum, and let's say we give them Alrund's Epiphany and Vorinclex. They're going to hit us for 6, and then they're going to hit us for 8. That's right off the bat. That's 14 damage. That's not good for us. They played 2 spells, got an extra turn from it. It's not what we want them to do. If we call out Sultai Ultimatum and they play a Vorinclex, okay, that's fine. You know, we could deal with it 1 turn Vorinclex. They use 6 mana. We can, you know, Hardest Act it or something like that. But when they get to take an extra turn and play Vorinclex, it becomes problematic. And you're not going to obviously give them, say, like a Valky and a Vorinclex, because then they could just Tibble Ultimate or something like that. And we have a lot of powerful cards, and using Tibble's Ultimate against us is usually bad. So that's usually there. So that's kind of odd. It took away the text. Interesting. Okay. So that's mainly there for the Sultai Ultimatum decks. It's also against control decks if you want to go grab it and then call out their counter spells. Baneslayer Angel is strictly there for the red decks, because the red decks nowadays are creature based. They're not burn spell based. So you want to have this in your sideboard to grab. Obviously, Fae of Wishes can't grab this. It's more Raven's Warning. But having a 5/5 first strike lifelinker flying is very good against red. Now, if this guy had if she had vigilance, obviously this would be nuts. But Yeah, and that's kind of weird. Look at the mana cost on Baneslayer. The mana cost on Baneslayer is not split either with blue or white. It is strictly white. So I don't know what. Okay, look at this. All these errors on all these cards. You guys see the mana cost? Okay, if Ugin costed 5 mana, this would be nuts, but that's not the case. Dance the man's cost double black white. Okay, I don't know what's going on with Wood Arena, but we're gonna move on. Okay, but yeah, this is strictly against red. You bring this in, and it's gonna be hard for red decks to beat you because you have a first striker, a lifelinker. Obviously, they need Embercleave to pair with Baneslayer Angel, but outside of Embercleave, they cannot pair with Baneslayer. Doomscar and Shadow's Verdict are strictly against decks that go wide. So if you playing against a deck that goes wide, you get Doomscar and Shadow's Verdict to clear the board. Obviously, I already play 4 extinctions to try to prevent them from going wide, but it doesn't hurt to have 2 more in the sideboard, especially when Raven's Warning puts the card on top of the deck, so you get to draw it the following turn as as your draw phase. It's very good to have Doomscar and Shadow's Verdict to prevent decks from going super wide against you and beating you that way. The ECD there is kind of to catch something like a Henge or an Ugin or something like that big. Toski, since Toski says it's indestructible, we don't care. Same with Como, it's indestructible, we don't care because this exiles. So this goes past the indestructibility of clause. So that's there for this effect. Obviously, Yorion's our companion, but the cool thing about it being in our companion, obviously you can just use 3 mana to grab it from your hand. But if you're not able to and you just want to use Raven's Warning, you can actually use Raven's Warning and put it on top of your deck, and you don't have to spend the 3 mana to put it in your hand. It'll go onto your top of your deck, and then you'll draw it. But that will use your companion, so be careful on that, but that's just the companion card. Shark Typhoon is also good against rogues. Obviously, if you hardcast this against rogues, it is not impossible, but very hard for rogue decks to beat you, because now you're creating flyers even if your cards get countered. So this card is good against control and is good against rogues, and that's why I have it. It's also a win condition. You can grab this, hard cast this, and then just win with all the sharks you're creating when you cast all these spells. Dream Trawler is another win condition. I usually grab this against control decks because control decks, unless they have a board wipe card, they're not going to be able to deal with this. I can easily discard a card and make this guy indestructible, and whenever this guy attacks, you're drawing a card anyways, so it gains the value and loses the value, so you're just keeping paired up. And no, it's not a 2/2. This guy would be bad if he was a 2/2 flyer. Ondu's Inversion and Ugin are there for, like, once again, if they get way too much on board or too many powerful cards on board, we will grab this and just wipe the board and start from new. So if they have, Great Henge, if they have Embercleaves, or if they have 5 or 6 creatures with artifacts and enchantments, they have everything with, creatures, artifacts, enchantments, planeswalkers, all that. Ondu and Ugin are great ways to just clear the board and deal with that straight up. And then Dance the Man, since we're playing an Esper Doom deck, this is another win condition you could grab with Fae and Raven Warning. Your enchantments and artifacts go into the graveyard, and then Dance the Mance will just bring them right back. So that's another way to do something like that. But yeah, so I usually bring in Dance the Mance. Obviously, Dance the Mance is only strictly there for when you want to go for super card advantage. You can return 3 or 4 enchantments and artifacts back, or go for a win and return 5 or 6 and make them into 4/4 creatures as well. Plus you get the effects when you bring them back. So, but yeah, that's the deck. So hopefully you guys enjoy. If you try this deck out, it's a pretty solid best of 1 deck. Like I said, I don't really play best of 1 very often, but this has a sideboard to it, which is awesome since I strictly played best of 3. But give it a try. Drop some comments down below. Always check the description of the video, because in the description of the video you'll have the link to the Stream Decker link, so you can easily export this to Arena rather than, you know, typing all the cards. So make it a little easy for you. But yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys on the next video.